Well, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the term double dud, and that's talking about Jim Jordan and the racist piece of shit Tucker Carlson. And their lazy conspiracy theories are boring the hell out of the fucking maggot party. The GOP propagandists believe that maggot buys whatever they're selling. So why put in any effort into spinning these lies and continuing to spin those lies? Now, when Republicans took the House of Representatives in the midterms, the widespread expectation in the political media was that the GOP propaganda machine was about to into high gear and generate a firehouse of conspiracy theories that would make even Donald Trump's record of lying look feeble. The new speaker, Representative Kevin McCarthy, who's not even worthy of holding my jockstrap, previewed what it would look like. What it looked like, it would be he called it a Soviet-style war on truth, and whitewashing the history of January 6th to pumping out lies about federal assault on conservatives, which is the opposite way around. The expectation was that this would be a robust and terrifying effort that not only wowed Republican voters, but successfully bullied the mainstream media into elevating Republican lies out of fear of being accused of being biased. I don't want to speak too soon, but so far the Republican noise machine has been, dare I say, overwhelming. Last week was supposed to be a banner week for the two biggest propaganda initiatives started by McCarthy's caucus, but however, the efforts went over like a wet fart in both cases. First, the racist piece of shit Tucker Foe attempted to whitewash the January 6th the Klan insurrection with supposedly previously unseen footage of the riot, but even within Republican circles, there's a palpable sense of disappointment. This was supposed to be the blockbuster release of dazzling right-wing propaganda, but it got the same vibe as the Game of Thrones series finale. And then there is Representative Jim Cover-Up Jordan of Ohio's weaponization of federal government committee. No one of good faith believed that the Jordan Committee's hearing about the so-called Twitter files last week would produce any damning evidence against Democrats, but plenty of evidence of Donald Trump using his power to suppress speech has been unearthed. But of course, none of that bothers the supposed free speech warriors of the right. The big surprise was how boring the whole thing was. The conspiracy theories lacked imagination. Republican fake outrage was low energy too. The only fun was watching Democrats kick around disgraced journalist Matt Taibbi. Um, and this was after another entertaining face plant when Jim Jordan's FBI whistleblowers were exposed as a bunch of conspiracy theorists in the Trump roll payroll. The whole committee has been such a snooze that Republicans are starting to gripe to journalists that Jordan isn't doing more to put some razzle dazzle on this whole bullshit claims. Like Jacqueline Alemany at the Washington Post reports that Republicans on Capitol Hill are calling the committee lackluster and unfocused, and they're complaining that Jordan isn't working harder as the hype man for the right-wing pseudo scandals. Now, Jordan's investigative weapon was loaded with blanks, mocked former Justice Department officials Frederick Bannon and Dennis Aftergott at the Never Trump site, The Bulwark. The same vibe characterizes the Republican reception to Carlson's recent efforts to pretend that his exclusive access to the January 6 video files would somehow prove the insurrection was both peaceful and justified. No, it was not. Carlson has been an enthusiastic propagandist before, which is how he got so rich and famous. But he really half-assed us. He really half-assed this whole thing here, with the stodgy footage and feeble pleas to the audience to simply empty their memories of the hours and hours of footage that they had previously seen of Trump's fans ransacking the Capitol. Now, as Joan Walsh of The Nation wrote, Carlson's "Don't Believe Your Lying Eye" segment was strangely lifeless. Now, Walsh noted that Carlson is increasingly making a joke of himself, even inside his own fucking network. As Justin Peters at Slate pointed out, the effort was so uninspiring that Carlson's report was initially met with silence from the other hosts and programs on Foe. Embarrassingly, when Foe host Brett Baer finally did deign to respond to Carlson, it was with the segment emphasizing Senate Minority Leader Moscow Mitch's outright rejection of Carlson's narrative and noting that the January 6 defendants assaulted 140 police officers and some so badly that they can never return to work. So it's tempting to believe that lying about January 6 crosses some invisible moral line at the network, but that's unlikely what's going on here. Now, after all, Foe is being sued by Dominion voting by the Dominion voting systems now because they were willing to hype the big lie that led to the Klan insurrection in the first place. And we're not talking about people who are troubled by dishonesty, because anybody that watches Foe knows that they're getting nothing but lies, but the inbred sycophants that watch Foe don't give a shit that they're being lied to. So this reaction likely has more to do with how how Carlson's approach has been. He didn't even try to make a semblance of a case here. All he did was show images of those moments when rioters weren't beating cops, as if that erased all the other moments in time when they were being violent. Even the most devoted maggot fans are going to struggle to defend that ruse, which is the equivalent of pointing to all those times that Ted Bundy wasn't murdering women. The whole thing had a paint-by-numbers feel to it. Now Jordan and Carlson are starting to seem bored with their own shtick, and why wouldn't they get tired of this bullshit? Years of doing this has likely taught them that it doesn't really matter how artful the propaganda is. The effect is the same whether it's dazzling or drab. Maggot types will pretend to believe it. Everyone else rolls their eyes in weary disgust. And no one is manipulated, persuaded, or moved. Now all the audience wants is some noise to spew in order to deflect criticism. And they have no aesthetic discernment on the quality of the lies. Now the clumsy agitprop works exactly as well as more graceful lies. Why work hard at generating disinformation when phoning it in works just as well? Now still, there's a dark irony to all this. Now Carlson and Jordan have become famous and powerful by dint of their effectiveness at spreading conspiracy theories. Carlson gets paid $6 million a year to tell lies. Whether he's pretending to care about the sexiness of M&Ms or to believe in the intelligence of Donald Trump, even though Donald Trump's a fucking idiot. Now, similarly, Jordan rose high in the ranks of House Republicans because he's talented at fake outrage. Yet both these men are showing less passion for conspiracy theories these days than your average unpaid and anonymous QAnon troll. And it must be tiring looking forward to the rest of their lives spent trying to feign zeal over fake culture war fights or made-up controversies. And not that they fucking deserve your pity, of course, because they don't. But being professional liars is the path that they chose for themselves, and they're clearly stuck following it to the end. So if you like the video, you can give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. You can also go ahead and leave a comment, let me know what you think. And if you want to support my work even further, like I said, you can donate to my Patreon link, and just for a little as a few bucks a month or video, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.